I encourage our online instructors not to try to be super teachers. We want our faculty to be solid, high quality, student-oriented instructors, but we also want them to be balanced. And this is an environment that'll take as much time as you want to give it, and it has no time boundaries. And so you've got to sort of keep in mind of get maybe in your mind what is a quality teaching experience, and try to manage your time along those lines. A couple ways you can do that. One is to establish a schedule. I have one faculty member who's he's a great fellow. He's been teaching with us for probably over 12 years now, and he told me one time that he tells his students, do not expect to hear from me from the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. He said, I'm at work. He happens to be a researcher in the College of Agriculture, and he said, I've got research, and I've got maybe on-site classes I'm teaching and advising and so forth. And he was communicating to his adult learners. He said, when you can expect to hear from me would be between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. and 6 and 8 p.m. Now, it doesn't mean he was online for 4 hours a day, but those were the two windows that the students sort of would become accustomed to. And I asked him, well, how do they feel about that? And he said, perfectly fine. They adjust to it, so long as you communicate what that schedule is. But what that helped to do was to define the window, the boundaries, so that his online teaching time didn't bleed into his family time and his personal time. And that's something I think we have to be a little careful of. In one of my faculty development programs, I had a online instructor. She hadn't yet taught, but we were talking about this very question, and she wrote back and she said, "Oh, Larry, you can count on me." She said, I'm going to be online 7/24, and I promise, no more than 2-minute delay in a student response. I didn't even have to say anything. The rest of the faculty who were in the course jumped in and said, "Please don't do that." Two things will happen. One is you'll burn out. You can't maintain that kind of a pace. And the second thing is you set up a student expectation that everyone can function like that, and we can't. So they had some really interesting discussion and dialogue about what's reasonable. And that's what we ask for, is a reasonable quality teaching experience that you serve your students, but you also serve yourself. And I think that you'll be fine. The second one is the communication issue. I would ask our online instructors to consider the various mechanisms. I happen to use a lot of video in my courses, and I'll make those. I use a small little video camera called a flip video. I've been using it for a couple years now, and it's a great little device. You can also use the video embedded in your computer. Create a little video clip once a week, sort of summarizing some aspect of the course, or maybe setting up next week's study or whatever. Very, very effective. Fairly easy to do now. It's low barrier technology. Students really respond to that, seeing you and hearing you. They like that. And this stuff, shoot, you can put it up into YouTube if you want and point your students to that. That's very easy to do. So those are I guess those would be my recommendations going out of the gate. The last one maybe, and I just had the faculty in my office a couple weeks ago, and we had this conversation. I told him to have some fun. Enjoy this as a different kind of a learning experience. Give it the time it deserves, but not too much more. And I'm hoping to hear from him and after the course is finished and see how he did. But my goal is to help our faculty to succeed online. But in order to succeed, they first have to survive. And that's what we orient our faculty development programs around. It's giving them the tools that they need to be successful and to survive in this environment so they can thrive and then succeed. And when they get there, they tend to be very happy.